Hello, and welcome to a new video. My name is Smriti, and I am here in April to tell you it's time for Lit with Indian Lit. I know, it's been a while, and I have had to deal with a lot of stuff, like technical stuff, to like be here. But I'm here now, and hopefully everything works. I am praying to like technology gods, whoever you are, that everything is well and good.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
But anyway, it is Lit with Indian Lit month, and for those who are like confused, you're like, what is that? Let me tell you, Lit with Indian Lit is essentially a topic or a thing that I came up with 5 years ago now. This is the fifth year that we are going to be doing this. That I said in the beginning of April to the end of April. Now, since I have announced this so late, so it's like the 15th of April till like the end of May, because we can just extend it. The whole point of this is to read more translated Indian books. But yeah, I said that we should have a month dedicated to translated Indian literature because it is such an underserved part of our like book world, and I wanted to like make people read more, including me. I wanted to read more, so I was like, I should just get other people to come here and like do this with me. And it's been a fantastic journey. Essentially, what people do in order to participate, all you have to do is read a translated Indian book. That's legit it. And if you want to like talk about it or like be like, hey, these are the books that I'm going to be reading, or these are the books that I've read, I liked, I disliked, whatever, you can use the hashtag Lit with Indian Lit, and then like talk about it and tell us about your feelings. And it's a great community. We all love this genre in particular, and we love talking to people about it, shoving books down their throat. All of that sort of stuff is a thing that we actively do. So yeah, that's essentially the Lit with Indian Lit in general. That's what it is. And this year, since it is the fifth year, there is going to be a lot more that is going to happen. There are going to be some amazing giveaways, which will be given away. There is also going to be an amazing panel discussion, which is in its works, and that's going to be amazing because there are two of India's foremost translators who are probably going to be there, and I am still working that out. So do subscribe if you haven't already, because I will put up more information about that over here and as well on my Instagram channel, because that's where I'm going to be doing giveaways there and here as well. And just it's going to be really good fun. Like, there's probably going to be a book, a shortlisted translator who's going to be coming for this discussion. So I'm so excited. I am so excited, just generally to do this and participate in this readathon, read along sort of thing with you. But yeah, let's just get started with the prompts, because what I do is that, like last year I did this like point system thingy. This time I thought I'll just simplify things and give you like prompts which you can follow. Though honestly, I don't care if you follow any of the prompts. All I care about is that you just like pick up a translated Indian book and like read it and like recommend it to people. If you liked it, that's literally all I care about. So like prompts, etc., is just like a fun way to like gamify things. But if you want to do it, great. If you don't want to, that's fine. Just like use the hashtag and like be part of the conversation. That's all I ask for. So yeah, let's just get on to the prompts then, and then yeah. But before I get into the prompts, if you are confused and you've never read translated Indian literature, or you're like confused as to what you should be reading, first of all, check out the hashtag Lit with Indian Lit on Instagram, but also on YouTube. I have made a lot of content for translated Indian literature. So like there is one called like recommendations from A to Z for translated Indian literature. There are books under 200 pages that I think you should read. So all of these videos, etc., that I'm going to link down below for you to check out. But yeah, there's just like so many amazing like books out there. So I'm so excited for you to get started on this journey with us. And if you have been part of this journey with me for a while now, then hey, isn't it fun? But yeah, that's that's exactly what it is. Now let's get to the prompts. And this is the beautiful bingo board that I have. If you've noticed, I've tried to make it a bit of like the Indian flag colors. I don't know how beautiful it is, but like whatever, we're just gonna deal with it, okay? But yeah, essentially it has various prompts in it, and you can double up on prompts. So for example, if you read one book that can work for 3 prompts, then go for it. For example, a book that I plan to read is Karaku by Bama, and that book works for a book from the South. both a book by a marginalized voice and a book that is recommended to me. So like all of that sort of works, and you can just like tick it off. And the idea is of this bingo board to either get a complete blackout where you have basically ticked off each and every prompt, or to get things like from top to bottom, like a row from top to bottom, or like a column or diagonal, or like whatever. Yeah, that's the idea. So how many ever bingos you get, that's amazing. If you get a full blackout, you get a gold star from me. I don't have money anymore, so I can't really give you anything. I will give you hugs and my admiration. That is all that you will get. But yeah, let's just begin with explaining what these prompts are, though they are very like self-explanatory. Remember how I said in the beginning of the video that I've been dealing with some technical issues? Well, those technical issues arose and I had to deal with them. So if the frame looks different from the previous shot, well, it was just me dealing with them. But now, without talking about that, let us move on to the prompts, which is what I said I was going to do. So the first prompt is a book that has been recommended to you, and this is a book that like your friend may have recommended to you, or a person that you've seen on like Bookstagram or on BookTube talk about, or a person has like literally come to you and be like, oh my god, please read this book, or the innumerable books that I have recommended over the years. So 3 recommendations that I give you right now in this video are Tamas by Risham Sahni, Rita Wellinger by Shata Gokhale, and Gachar Gochar by Vivek Shanbag. These 3 I would highly suggest, but also, as I've said, please look into other recommendations that you have seen over the years and then read them. The next prompt is quite self-explanatory, and that is a book from the north. And what I mean by this are books that are from the northern states of India. So this could be like Delhi, Haryana, UP, Uttarakhand, Jammu and Kashmir, whatever it might be, books from the north of India. And if you don't know the states that come from the north of India, please Google it. But you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so just read a book that is translated from there. The author could be from there. They could be from a language from there. For example, it could be Dogri, it could be Urdu, it could be Hindi. Just check that out. Some recommendations I would give for this prompt would be A Tomb of Sand, which I haven't read myself, but it is shortlisted for the Booker, and it is the first Hindi book that is shortlisted for the Booker Prize, the International Booker Prize, which is amazing. Duperi by Pankaj Kapoor, and a book that I personally really want to read is Partitions by Kamleshwar, which is a book that I've been putting off for quite a while. But yeah, that's that. The next prompt is a book from the Northeast. This too is pretty self-explanatory. However, if you don't know which states are in the Northeast, these are the ones. And you want to read a translated Indian book from these states. However, if you cannot find a translated Indian book because there are not too many translated books, say for example Mizoram or whatever, then you can read an English book that is written there. This is the only like place which I will allow it for you to read an English book and count it for this prompt, because most of the people from my research I have seen do read, write, etc. in English itself. So that's all good. As long as you're reading from the Northeast, I am happy. The next prompt is also geographical, and that is a book from the West. And yes, I am trying to make you just read books from the length and breadth of India, right? That's basically all I want for you in life. That is my hope and dream. But yes, a book from the West essentially is the western states in India, so that be like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Goa, whatever. And the books that I recommend to you from here are Baluta by Daya Pawar, which I personally highly recommend, Ratno Dholi from Gujarat, and A Age of Frenzy. The next one is a marginalized voice, and I felt a little weird saying marginalized, but essentially what I hope to put into this is basically people who whose voices we don't really hear as much, or are sort of like told to shut up sometimes. And that is, for example, Dalits, or the LGBTQ community, or the tribal community, or the handicapped, or whatever. You don't really hear these voices as much, and I would ideally like for you to read from these voices. So that is essentially what I mean by marginalized voices. And yeah, like for example, a book that I personally want to read for a long point of time is Karaku by Bama, which I've spoken about before. And this is like the first Dalit woman memoir that came out. Another one that I would recommend to you is an LGBT voice is Cobalt Blue. And then the one that I am currently reading right now is this one, which is Father May Be an Elephant and Mother Only a Small Basket, but by Gogu Shamala, which is translated from Telugu, which I'm really enjoying. I'm just one story down, but it is interesting and I'm really liking it. So yeah, this is another book that you could possibly check out. But yeah, hope you have fun with this prompt. Then we have a book from the East, which is different from the Northeast, and I've purposely made that difference because sometimes when I say East, people just stick to like West Bengal and they don't really go further. So that's why I made Northeast a separate thing as well, a prompt as well. But yeah, from the East, you could have books that are from Bengali, which are plenty. You have Odia literature, which is also plenty. So some recommendations that I would give to you are Chokher Bali by Rabindranath Tagore, 6 Acres and a Third. And a book that I want to read is Those Days by Sunil Gangopadhyay. So yeah. We're down to the last three prompts, the bottom row, and the first one from the bottom row is a book that you've been putting off for a while. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a lot of books that I've been wanting to read for a while, and I'm like, oh my god, I really need to read this, but then I never do for some reason or the other. And I can't really give you recommendations for this because I don't know what your like books that you've been putting off for a while. But for me personally, there's Hangwoman by K.R. Meera, there is Partitions by Kamleshwar, there is Those Days by Sunil Gangopadhyay. Like these are the three books that like come to mind for say. There's also the Karaku by Bama. So like it all sorts of works out. So a book that you've been like, I have really been reading this off for a while now. Just read it. That this is my hope for you, to read a book that you've been putting off. And the last geographical prompt is a book from the South. And if you've noticed, yes, I have done this like North, South, East, West, and then the Northeast. If like, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, a book from the South obviously again says self-explanatory. These states from the South are Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Those are the 5 ones, and you can read a book that is from there, that is translated from one of the languages that are written there or spoken there. And books that I would recommend to you is Payo by what's his name? Perumal Murugan. I love that book a lot. There is also Samskara, which I really enjoyed. It's a short book, but it really said a lot about caste and people in general. I've spoken about this in my books under 200 pages. And then, of course, there's Hangwoman, which is a book that I've been meaning to read. That is probably going to be the book that I read. And the last prompt is a book that is translated from a language that you have never read before. And I feel like this is a really important one, especially for me, because I have realized that I read a lot of books that are like, say, for example, translated from Tamil or like from Bengali or from Hindi or Urdu. But there are so many other languages that are out there that I haven't really like read from. So for example, a book that I want to read is this book called Phool Sungi, which is translated from Bhojpuri, or this Assamese book which I've never read for, called Written in Tears, or even from technically my home state, Jammu and Kashmir, there's a language called Dogri, and which is from Jammu, and I haven't read that. There's Dogri folktales. So yeah, I really want to read from a language that I haven't read before. But if you feel like you've read like pretty much all the languages, then you can read from a language that you read less of, if that makes sense. You can like move it, change it, do whatever. And honestly, as I have said, even though these are all the 9 prompts that you have, I don't care if you don't follow a single one of these prompts, as long as you read translated Indian literature that is legit all I care about. Like, as long as you're having a good time, as long as you are enjoying what you're reading and you want to speak about this and you're supporting these authors and publishers and these translators with all of their hard work, that is genuinely all I care about. So yeah, that is Lit with Indian Lit. I hope that was enjoyable. As I said, that we are going to be extending this for another month, but honestly, it should just be year long that we read translated Indian literature, but it's fine. So for the next month and a half, I'm going to be posting giveaways. I'm going to be doing a panel discussion, which I will talk to you about on YouTube itself. It's just going to be extremely fun. So I hope that you will come along with me on this journey. And I will, well, see you in my next video, but I will also see you reading these amazing, amazing books that are out there for you to read. So take care. I hope you're all doing good, and bye.